And welcome to Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. It's Robin Fritz, and we're live in Seattle, Washington, Tuesday morning. So welcome again. Today we are going to talk about why we need space clearing, what that matters, why that matters to us at home and at work. I will also be doing a meditation with the Crystal Fallon, Crystal of the Week, and energy healing. And for anyone who would like a quick free reading, please type in your name and we'll go from there. We'll go with questions for intuitive insight or energy healing today, and happy to join in with you. So again, welcome. I am so thrilled to be here, to be a member of the Om Times Experts community and to host a radio show with them. My show's called The Practical Intuitive Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World, and it's every Monday at 2 Pacific time. So space clearing, what does that mean? Well, I work as an intuitive and spiritual consultant and certified past life regression specialist in Seattle. And one of the things that I have done since the very beginning of my business is to help people clear their spaces. And so why do we do that? Well, it's really very simple. We all want and need an edge in the world. We want to get ahead as easily as we can. We want to give back to the world. We want to make our unique contribution to the world. And one of the ways that we can do that is by making sure that we have a solid foundation underneath our feet. And that's what space clearing will give for you. So again, welcome. I appreciate you being here. I'm working with a new platform, so please, if you're interested in a quick reading, type your name in, volunteer, and I'll take 1 or 2 people if we have time. But let's talk about space clearing. The problem about space clearing is we don't really know we need to do it, and we don't think about the energies of our spaces needing to be clear. And if you back up a minute, we know that to be our best, we need to be as energetically clear as possible. And you think about it. When you go to work in the morning, you make sure your desk is clear. You come home, you dust and you vacuum to keep the physical spaces clear. It's just one additional step to think about the energy of the spaces so that they can be their best, that they can support us. So think about it this way. We're all made of energy, right? And we can see our bodies because the energy packs in densely together to create that bodily form. So as we go about our day, our energy obviously goes with us. And so imagine walking into a room, a building, a retail business, and there are other people there, or there have been other people there. It's a busy situation, people coming and going. So when you're walking into this space, little bits and pieces of your energy spin off of you and get stuck in that space. So that happens with everybody in that space. And it also happens with the space itself, because remember, everything is alive. Everything has a soul, has consciousness, has a job to do, a choice about doing it, and obviously opinions about doing it, at least in my experience. So when you're going about your daily life, little bits and pieces of other people's and energy get stuck to you, as well as the animals, the trees, the buildings that you're in. And so what happens? You go home and that goes with you. And eventually, those pieces will get you stuck. And what does that mean? Well, if you notice that you are tired and grumpy at home or at work, or that coworkers are having trouble getting along, or that the creativity at home and work is down, that your business is down a little bit, that things just aren't gelling quite as well as you would like, consider clearing the energies of the space to get it as healthy and as vigorous as it is after you clean and vacuum, right? So what are reasons why you would clear a space? Well, that would be one. But the other thing would be, are you buying and selling real estate? If you're selling, it's a really great idea to clear your personal energies of you and your family members, animals, whatever, out of that space so the space can invite someone new. And when you're moving into a new space, clear the energies there so that you have a fresh start and so that your space really knows that you're there with it and you're creating a new relationship together. There are other reasons too. To celebrate anniversaries, to celebrate birthdays, to celebrate major milestones in your life. A kid is graduating and going off to college. Also to honor events that have occurred, for example, a death in the family. And space clearing is really helpful for situations where there's a lot of grief and concern or a lot of anger. And in the Seattle area where I live, for example, I do a lot of corporate clearings to help companies do some really cool team building and spur their creative endeavors. But there are also those situations. Samar, thanks for asking that. That's actually the next thing. You're like perfect timing. Thanks for joining in on that. Ghost busting, so to speak. I hate to use that word, but it makes you understand that sometimes spaces are so severely stuck. Then that's what we call paranormal activity, and that's moving those things out. So thanks, Samar, for asking. Here's how you do a space clearing. One is you gather things that will help you energetically clear the space and that will make the space wake up and go, oh, something's happening here. So I routinely suggest things like flowers, crystals, a clearing spray or clearing incense. I love Nag Champa, which is Indian, copal, which is called Mexican frankincense. Traditional frankincense is good. A wood called Palo Santo, Palosanto, is a great thing to use. Candles, and create a ritual for yourself. So say every month after you pay your bills, you gather these things that are going to support your clearing. You light some candles. You say, I would like to clear my space today, and I'm inviting the space to cooperate with me. And then light your incense, move around the rooms, smudge it into the corners. I like to open up all the windows and doors and the closets and smudge a little incense in there. And the truth of it is you really don't need an incense. I like to use it because, especially when I'm doing a clearing for someone else, we humans like to see things happening. And so feeling the incense in the room really helps. But it also, incense has its own energetic properties, clearing sprays as well. If you don't like scents, there are clear, fragrance-free, that's a hard word to say, clearing sprays that will also do the job, so to speak. But see, they have their own energetic frequencies, so they help clear the energies as well. Plus, those kinds of things like incenses will make your space perk up and go, oh, something's happening here. So as you go about that, you set your intention for your clearing, you walk around, you clear everything. And then I like to sit down and just sit with the space for a few minutes, and I will end with a bell that I use. It's actually a little Tibetan metal bowl, and I'll ring that bell. And if the ring sounds a little off, then I know that I need to work a little bit harder on that space, or that particular area in the space, maybe a corner of a room or something like that. And you really find over time that if you do this, you're going to create a really great relationship with your space, particularly your home spaces. Our homes are created to nurture and protect us. And this kind of a ritual helps draw you closer together with your space. And that's, again, like I said in the beginning, it's the foundation that we stand on, that we go about our days on. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. And I call my modality of space clearing space cooperating, because I take it to a different level. So I will ask my clients to give me a list of 4 or 5 things that they want to happen in that space. They want to feel more comfortable. They feel like something's in the space that shouldn't be there, or they're just honoring a space that they've just purchased and are moving into, whatever it is. I ask them for a list. And then I actually, before I come to the space clearing, I actually sit down and I talk to the space itself. I introduce myself. I tell them their families asked me, or their business owners have asked me to work with the space. And I ask the space to give me its impressions of what is going on, what its needs and wants are. And really, that is fun, and it's really eye-opening, because often spaces have never been consulted about what they see going on or what they feel. And I've seen the most amazing things happen. A little houseboat that I cleared for a very creative person, and she was an artist, and the space, literally the little tiny houseboat, volunteered to be the canvas for her art. And the look on her face, she was just so thrilled. And it's such a privilege for me to help people and their spaces connect. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today for space clearing, and what we're doing with spaces. Really, I urge you to try it for yourself. There's you can go to my website at robinfritz.com, ROBYNFRITZ.com. It'll talk a little bit there about space clearing, but those are just a general ways of going about it. And create your ritual for yourself. You'll find that it varies over time, and that's awesome, because we're always moving, we're always changing and adapting. But particularly now in the world, Veronica, I believe, yes, there are certain varieties of healing modalities out there that include space clearing. And in fact, ancient Feng Shui was originally this idea of space clearing that I use, where the ancient Feng Shui creators were actually cooperating with the land around them and finding out what was going to work on that land and what wasn't. For example, I've gone in to evaluate several properties for buyers, and these are usually people buying huge estates. And I will rule them out based on what I see at the property, and I'll tell that to the client. This is why I would not suggest you buying this property. This is why I would look at this property in particular, because the ancient Feng Shui people knew what was happening on the land, and that's what we need to be doing now as we create more and better relationships with all of the beings around us. We tend as humans to be isolated and to not realize how much help there is out there for us to be the best that we can be. And our clear and healthy spaces are, like I said, the foundation. That's what you stand on to go out there and be your best. And truly, we know the world is in flux right now, and we need all of you, all of the people who gravitate towards this wonderful platform that Times has created for us. You are the light of the world. You're the way showers, and you need space clearing to really put yourself out there in the world so that you can help us all heal together. So thanks for joining with that today. Now, this week's crystal of the week, I've chosen Obsidian. And Obsidian is a little black crystal here. It's a little tiny one. I use Fallon, my crystal citrine Lemurian quartz, for clearing and for working with clients. Obsidian is an extremely powerful crystal. It is often used for clearing spaces, especially very stuck spaces. So it would be something to consider if you're dealing with paranormal influences. But if you're not someone who's experienced in that, I would, call in a professional. But Obsidian does clear energies. It is very strong. If you've never worked with crystals, I would be cautious, but it's something to look at. So if you feel drawn to Obsidian for clearing like past life attachments or the energies of a space, just look at it. Look at it online, look at it in a crystal book, find a good crystal store where you can look at pieces and see what you think. It may be something that you would like to add to your home or work environment and get to know over a period of time. So that's Obsidian. I like it. I just don't use it that much because I have Fallon and I have the crystal columbite. So we're at this situation in the world right now where we're doing the best we can to get along with each other, to, enjoy our lives and to make a contribution to the world. And, this is the point in the webinar where I talk about our Facebook Live where I talk about upcoming webinars. And this week I did have a webinar scheduled on space clearing, on how we clear ourselves and our spaces. But I have received so many emails from people and so many comments on Facebook Messenger about really the difficulties people are having on keeping their energy boundaries intact, that I've decided to roll that webinar over into a multi-part webinar in January on developing and maintaining our energy boundaries. I have taught an energy boundary workshop for professionals the last several years, a day-long webinar, or actually workshop, especially for healthcare workers, but also other professionals. If you're working with people, whether healthcare or like in a sales position or so on, you notice that right now we're having even more difficulty maintaining our equilibrium, maintaining our energy boundaries, keeping things from coming at us and influencing us, and really understanding each other. And that's why I think it's time to offer that as a multi-part webinar. So that will be coming in January. But in November, I have two webinars. One is kind of fun. It's what I call the side of my business I call intuitive exploration. And I talk about the things I've experienced or that I have learned about with people that I trust. But this webinar is called The Multiverse is Real, because it is, and I've experienced it. So we'll talk about the beings that exist in the multiverse and what that means for us today. And if you're interested, join that webinar. It's eye-opening to learn about what different people experience in the world. They're different beings that have asked to come forth and meet and work with humans as partnerships, as getting to know each other, what our families are like, how we live together. And so this is part of my contribution of introducing people to other things that are out there that you might enjoy meeting and working with, and to think about, what is the multiverse and what does it mean for us today? But also, that's on Tuesday, November 7th at 2 Pacific time, and on Thursday, November 16th at 4 Pacific time, I'm teaching a webinar on using intuition in business. So really serious, practical stuff, but really fun stuff, to let your intuition fly. So really join that webinar live so that we can practice together. It's $15. The multiverse webinar is free. And we'll have a lot of fun in November. I'm offering 2 workshops in November and 2 in December because I know it's the holidays and people are busy doing other things. But let me know too what other things you might be interested in, because we're all learning and growing together. So before we end today with a healing with the goddess, I'd like to thank you for joining me today and for being part of the Om Times community. I've been so thrilled being part of this community. It's a huge honor. And I have been so amazed by all of you, the wonderful people that I've met. So help us help you. If you haven't liked the Om Times Institute page or the Om Times Magazine page, please go and like those. And I always welcome likes on my Facebook business page, The Practical Intuitive Robin M. Fritz. And I welcome friend requests. Just let me know where you're coming from with the friend request that you watched a webinar video or whatever it is that you watched. So we appreciate you. We're out here to help you, and we're all in it together, right? We're growing and learning to love ourselves and the world together. And it's a challenge sometimes. And, that's what makes it worthwhile, right? Working through the challenges, coming out the other side with new insights on who we are and why we're here. And remember, we're all here to grow our souls. And this time that we live in is an opportunity to really advance our souls, to really learn and explore the universe together. So let's end today with a quick healing. I neglected to do our usual Fallon meditation. So let's do this here at the end. Let's connect with this crystal Fallon. Fallon is an ancient power crystal He's a healer and a truth bringer. And so you will connect with him however your energy and your intuition works. So if you see, hear, feel, or know things intuitively, or most of us are a combination of all of those, that's how you'll connect with Fallon today. And as we do that, just allow yourself to think for a moment about what it would be like to clear the energy of your space or your business, even if it's a cubicle or cash register, a grocery store, whatever it is, and what it would be like to actually ask that space what it needs from you so that it can be its best in supporting you. So if you take your attention to the top of your head, breathe down your face, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, and your feet. The top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And just feel yourself connecting to your space, connecting to the crystal Fallon. And just feel that energy supporting and invigorating you, whether you know it, you feel it, you hear him talk, or you see him. People see a gold man or a gold light. So now imagine this crystal at your feet rotating, this gold light rotating, and it's going to help you clear out today. It's going to help you feel more grounded and balanced. So as it moves up from your feet, past your knees, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your face, your third eye, and your crown chakra, okay? Your crown chakra has been wide open in the beginning since Fallon has been here with us. But just feel that and just invite in this energy to flood your heart with healing warmth and support and connection to your spaces, to your family, and to your coworkers. And now as we end for the day, just feel that, and know that we're going to ground you back down really quickly. Hands on your heart. Cross your hands on your heart. This is an energy technique I learned from a goddess. Oh, that's so good. Veronica, that is so awesome. Actually, people do see birds a lot connecting with Fallon. They also see land systems, mountain ranges, dolphins and whales, the beings in the multiverse smiling at us. That's how I first met Fallon. So thank you for sharing that, Veronica. So hands on your heart and just breathe into the palms of your hands. Now, you're not channeling energy through your body. You're just inviting energy to join with you. Breathe into the palms of your hands. Feel that air in you. And then just offer your palms to the world. That energy is alive. It's sentient. It knows what it's doing. So just let it go wherever it needs to go in the world, including if it just needs to go to your home or your business space and help that space clear. That's what we're all here for, right? To support each other. And then let's ground back into our bodies now and get ready to go back out into the world and know that we're all connected to each other and we're all joining in community here. And now it's time to just give that back to yourself. So cross your hands on your heart and just breathe in love and acceptance of yourself. That's where we start, right? Love and accept ourselves. Breathe that in and breathe it into the palms of your hands. And then put it back on your heart. That grounds that energy back into you. Closes out that wide open crown chakra that happens when you're doing these kinds of things or working with. Hi, Mari. Thanks for joining me. And just know as you go about your day that this community is here to support you. I'm here to support you. I'm here every Tuesday at 11. You can join my radio show on Mondays at 2. You can email me with questions or comments for the show. You're welcome to call live and ask a question and talk, get a free reading. Thank you, Mari. Yes, I'm so glad you found me. I was trying to direct you to this page earlier. And I also offer intuitive and spiritual consulting, so you can find my services at my website at robynfritz.com, ROBYNFRITZ. In the intuitive area, I offer animal communication, mediumship, personal and business intuition, which is really cool. I love that. And space clearing, which we talked about today. And on the spiritual side, past life and between life regression, looking at previous lives, sometimes bringing forward skills that you had in previous lives that you could use right now, spiritual awakening and spiritual journeys and energy healing. And my work is about supporting you, helping you tap your natural, intuitive, and healing abilities. Believe it, we are all intuitives and healers. We just need to learn how to use those skills. So thank you for joining me today. I'll look forward to you joining me next week and coming on my show and chatting on my show. And let us know what you're interested in, the things that interest you, and we can explore them together. So thanks again for joining me. Take care and have a great week.